Yeah, I wanted to get to this earlier. I don't know, my buddy David, he commented, he was asking me for my opinion, and I was just so busy, I wasn't around. But I also wanted to be able to watch all of the other commentary. Part of what I want to do on this show is that I want to look at what people are talking about and provide you with a perspective that might be different than that, something extra. So I have to wait until other people put stuff out. I got to watch Paget. I got to watch andrewyang. I got to watch Problem Solver Politics and some of the media coverage. So I think I got a handle on what's going on here, and I want to talk about that. You guys ready for the Yang debate recap? All right, let's do it. First of all, I got my prediction wrong, my debate prediction wrong. So I thought they were going to give him questions and that the questions would be sharp and hard and difficult, unduly difficult. And he did kind of get pointed, sharp questions, but they didn't really call on him. He got the lowest again. The lowest speaking time. Do these guys not know about Let Yang speak? Do they not know what's going on? Do they not know what's been happening in all the debates? They know, and they don't care. All right. So I got my prediction wrong. He got to speak. He didn't get many questions, and that was a bummer. But what were we expecting, huh? I know some of you in the Yangdom, you're feeling very upset right now for some reason. For some reason you're feeling very upset. Just take a breath. Just calm down. Make me think harder. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for joining. I know some people. I don't know if it's you. I don't know if you there are somebody who's found this upsetting, who thought the debates were upsetting. Some people did. Some people thought it went poorly, terribly. Some people really, really wanted something differently from this debate. I gotta ask you, why are you disappointed? Why the heck are you guys disappointed? Okay, those of you who are, right? From the first 15 minutes in this debate, to me, Andrew had already won. It was absolutely fantastic, and we're going to get into this, okay? Those of you who thought he was going to get, look, I thought he was going to get more time, but I wasn't surprised that he didn't get more time, okay? Not surprised at all. He's not considered top-tier candidate. He's still considered fringe candidate. Why would they give him more time? People who are tuning into this, who don't know Andrew Yang, are not looking to listen to Andrew Yang. Look, when we were looking, when we were watching it, and there was all these people who we didn't know on the stage, we didn't want to hear them speak. And so the media, they got ratings, they got money to bring in, and they're not going to put people on the screen that other people are not expecting to see. They're just going to give people at home a reason to turn the channel. So unless Yang gets even more popular, this trend is just going to continue. So don't expect him to get more time. Make Me Think Harder says you have mixed feelings. I know how you feel. I know how you feel. My feelings not really mixed on the subject. Maybe it's because I went in with managed expectations, so there was less for me to feel disappointed in. But I'm not surprised. You know what? Honestly, guys, I'm proud that Andrew Yang gets the least amount of time to speak. It's more impressive that he's on that stage. It's more impressive that he's making it forward. He gets to now we get to dominate and use the Let Yang Speak hashtag, and people are going to keep thinking, hey, what's going on? When people finally get to hear about Andrew Yang, when he finally hits that mainstream and everybody's asking about him and wondering about him and he's on all these news channels, they're going to go back and see, oh my God, this whole time they wouldn't let Andrew Yang speak. He's actually a great example why you have to change this whole debate process. I think it's good. He still gets the mantle of underdog. It's better that he's totally dead last in speaking time than if he was third up from the bottom, Because then people would say, what do you have to complain about? Right now, the bias is obvious. Because he's dead last, the bias is obvious. At least they didn't get to hide their tracks, hide their feelings. We know how they feel. So, on that sense, I'm glad that he didn't get that he got the. I'm not glad that he got the lowest speaking time, but you know what I mean. If he didn't get a lot of speaking time, at least he still gets that mantle of I'm being shunned by the media. And let me tell you this: there's a lot of people, especially conservative voters, especially on the Republican side, people that he's going to need to flip in the election, who don't like the media, who don't trust them, and when the media is biased against you, it makes another segment of the population go, I got to pay attention to this Andrew Yang fellow, right? I tell you that, I feel that way. I feel that way. When I kept saying, hey, why is Andrew Yang not getting attention? It made me want to look into Andrew Yang. And the more he gets into the mainstream, the more people are going to go, here's a guy who's gotten screwed by the media. So I think it'll be good. Make me think harder says he needed to at least tell people to stop interrupting him. Okay, we're going to get to that in a moment, okay? Let me get to this in order here. There are people who wanted him to get those sound bites in, you know? His answers are too verbose. It was too complex. He should have just kept it simple and go for the sound bite. You know, sound bites to me are for people who don't have great ideas, all right? You might have a good idea. You might have an okay idea, and then sound bite will help. A lot of these candidates, they're prepared and they rehearse sound bites because if they just say their idea, nobody's going to get on fire for their idea. It's not great enough, right? Or it's not unique enough, right? So they can't just say, I'm for Medicare for all. I'm for education. Because what does it matter? Everybody's for that. But when Andrew says, I'm for UBI, Universal Basic Income, and nobody else is saying that, that to me is the soundbite. That to me is better than any soundbite, any zinger that he can put forward. So look, just know when you hear sound bites from people who on purpose practice sound bites, that's not somebody you really want to support, man. Generally speaking, okay? There's nothing inherently wrong with sound bites, but it's not a good sign. Substance. All right. The surprise announcement at the beginning of the debate. Okay, just to refresh your mind here, check it out.
In America today, everything revolves around the almighty dollar. Our schools, our hospitals, our media, even our government. It's why we don't trust our institutions anymore. We have to get our country working for us again instead of the other way around. We have to see ourselves as the owners and shareholders of this democracy rather than inputs into a giant machine. When you donate money to a presidential campaign, what happens? The politician spends the money on TV ads and consultants, and you hope it works out. It's time to trust ourselves more than our politicians. That's why I'm going to do something unprecedented tonight. My campaign will now give a freedom dividend of $1,000 a month for an entire year to 10 American families, someone watching this at home right now. If you believe that you can solve your own problems better than any politician, go to yang2020.com and tell us how $1,000 a month will help you do just that. This is how we will get our country working for us again, the American people.
There, mic drop. Andrew Yang, in that moment, in my opinion, won the debate. He won the debate. The surprise that he dropped, I don't know why people are not thinking that this is an incredible surprise. It's absolutely outstanding. It is so far beyond, so much better, anything that I was imagining for this surprise. It was substantive. It went to the core of his message. It's definitely going to get people to pay attention. If you were watching the live stream, I lost it. I couldn't believe what he was talking about. It was an amazing surprise. It wasn't nothing. His issue is universal basic income. And he demonstrated that he's taking money that he could be spending on advertising, he could be spending on his own campaign, he could be spending on his needs, right? It's not like he has Pete Buttigieg money, right? He's taking the money that he has available to him, maybe not from his pocket, but from his campaign, and he's putting it towards this. He's putting money where his mouth is. He's betting on this. That's 10 people who get it. That's 10 families potentially who get it. That's every one of those family members, their friends and family who they talk to are going to talk about how this person is getting the freedom dividend. Everybody who talks to them, suddenly, if it's 10 cities, now that's spread out. Now that's hundreds of people in these studies who have been activated to, hey, what's going on? Becky's getting $1,000 a month. Becky won that $1,000 a month. What is that? It's going to generate buzz. The local news is going to want to talk about the person who got the $1,000 a month from Andrew Yang, the presidential candidate. It's a genius. I mean, it's the smartest way he could have spent this money. And the smartest way he could have opened out of his mouth, the first thing he says is this, drop the bomb. He changed the whole thing. It was an amazing surprise. Look, I was shocked to see that people were bothered by this. They thought he shouldn't do it. I do not know what world you guys are looking at. Maybe your half of the world. Okay, I gotta accept that some people are not gonna like this. So maybe your half is gonna, but the other half is gonna be thinking, what the hell was that? Who the hell is Andrew Yang? Here's the thing. He gave, instead of just saying, Google Andrew Yang, which is what I've always wanted him to do. Just say the words Google Andrew Yang. He gave people a reason to Google him. He gave people a reason to Google him. If you're sitting there, you're listening to that, hey, 10 people are going to get $1,000 a month. You're like, I've got to check this out, right? I saw the light go out here. I got to put the light back on. I want you guys to be zen. A lot of you feeling upset. I understand. It might not have gone the way you expected. But it was beautiful. That announcement that he gave there, it's fire. All right, so he drops this announcement, right? He drops this announcement, and Pete Buttigieg is afterwards. He's like flabbergasted. Pete Buttigieg actually says something to the effect of, "Well, that's original. I'll give you that." It's fantastic. Kamala Harris was like nervously laughing. The room got silent. He got a ton of attention. Do you know how I know that what he said was absolutely fantastic? Because when you go onto ABC News and Fox News, MSNBC, when you go on these websites, there's almost not a single mention of that. I think Fox News has a mention of it, but there's no clip about it. There's very little about it. At least when I went to go check it out. It should be front page news. They're not talking about it. That means it's a good idea. If it was stupid, really a bad idea, then they would put it everywhere and ridicule him. But they know that if they put that in front of the American people are going to want to hear more from him. All right. So the surprise announcement was actually the smart thing to do. And that's what we want from Andrew Yang. We want him to do the smart thing. We don't want him to do what all other politicians will do. We want him to do the smart thing. All right. So I admit he could have done better. All right? I'll say that. He could have done better. He didn't do outstanding. It wasn't a home run. But he did what he needed to do, folks. Come on. Look, most people watching this debate will have only seen the first 30 minutes of it. If that. So right at the beginning, he gives them meat on the bone. He gives them something to chew on. He gives them something to go and Google. Right at the top. I'm glad he didn't save it. I'm glad he didn't save it in his back pocket for later on in the debate. Right then. And it's good that he didn't save it because he didn't get a lot of talking time after that, right? So right at the top, when the most amount of people would be paying attention, potentially, he drops this bomb. Now, just so you know, I'm going to do another video about the autopsy, like what's gone on afterwards, the cascade of effects afterwards. But I've already heard of some people who are going to match him. Like they want to help him give people $1,000 a month. They want to do this trial thing. They want to either help him with these 10 or help with other people. And I've even heard talk of people, hey, give to 20 people, 30 people. It's fantastic. It's already catching on. You guys are going to see, man, this thing here, what he just did there was the best thing he could have done. I am so proud of Andrew Yang. So proud of him and his campaign. All right. So yes, he could have done better. Afterwards, a lot of his answers, I kind of fell asleep halfway through his answers. I couldn't really follow it. I'm an idiot. I'm not like a super smart guy. I know that. So, I'm more interested in entertainment. So I kind of fell asleep with some of his answers, but it didn't matter because I fell asleep with a lot of the other answers as well. And he did give good answers. Sometimes it wasn't very clear, but maybe that's just because of my ignorance on the topic. So yeah, he could have done better. I wish he didn't say, hey, tell immigrants, hey, immigrants, come here, come here. That's not going to do well in the general election. Come on, universal basic income, immigrants, come. I know he didn't mean it in that way. But he wanted to create an America that was great and prosperous and that it would be happy to welcome immigrants. But in a time where it's an issue, It's I didn't think I think that might be good for the primary. I think it actually might be very good for the primary, but for the general election, I think it wasn't so great. We got the bedroom intellectual here saying, "Hey, I see you pumping out these videos. Nice job. I'm here. Oh, thanks for being here. Thank you so much. That's a nice compliment. Yeah, I'm pumping out these videos. I'm gonna pump out some more. So make sure you subscribe." Half the Yang Gang weren't into the idea of a personal attack on other Dems. I'm right there with you. I was not interested in a personal attack on the other Dems. The major reason I didn't want him to attack other Dems was because the moment he says their name, they get to speak. Just think about that. The moment he brings up their name, they get to speak. He doesn't need to give anybody more speaking time. So he got attention the only way the media couldn't ignore him. Yes, he was undeniable. Yes, absolutely. Just double down on UBI, man. That's all you got to do. Keep bringing it up. Keep talking about it. Keep making it part of people's consciousness, and they're gonna love it. They're gonna love it. Make Me Think Harder says, "Yep, no attack on other Dems. Don't attack other Dems. What's the point? What do you win by that? You're not gonna help. You're not gonna help so that their supporters are gonna come to your side. Attacking the Dems for what? Attack the ideas, right? Attack the ideas. I was talking about this in my pre-debate sort of strategy video. You want to attack the ideas, not the candidate themselves. So you can attack a federal jobs guarantee. You can attack Medicare for all. You can attack gun policy. Whatever it is you want to attack, you can attack it. But don't attack the person, just the idea. That's enough. Right? That is all you need to do. If you attack the candidate, you go after the Democrat specifically, then you're going to get this knee-jerk defensiveness from people who support them or even like them. All right. What else do we got here? So he told immigrants to come here. I don't think that was great, but probably good for now that I think about it, it's probably good for the primary. Cutting in, this interrupting stuff, Make Me Think Harder. You were talking about this. Butting in, interrupting does not work if you are not considered a top-tier candidate. It doesn't work. Look, I'll tell you, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm pretty sure this is true. The moderators, when they go on stage, in order to have the ability to do their job effectively, to actually stop people from speaking, they have to be encouraged and told, hey, you do whatever you got to do on that stage to reel them in, to take power, to take control. You as the moderator have to be the one in control. So even if it gets too awkward, even if it goes too far, we saw this with Don Lemon, right? We saw this with Don Lemon on the CNN debates. Even though it goes too far, shut down the things we don't want to hear about. Shut it down. So I've seen in many debates over the past decade where you have a lower or someone who's considered a lower tier candidate who interrupts, and they get shut down hard, buddy. What if you're top tier? They let you interrupt. They might do a little bit but unless they're really trying to showboat, they let you speak. But if you're a lower tier candidate, excuse me, no, I'm sorry, no, Delaney, no, excuse me, no, we're gonna get to you. Please respect the rules. They're not going to let him speak, and it's gonna create this awkward, pathetic experience where a lot of people, it's the first time they're going to hear Andrew Yang, and hearing him, excuse me, I want to speak. First of all, Andrew Yang ain't going to be good at interrupting, He's polite, he's respectful of the rules. He ain't going to be very good at interrupting. I can't imagine he ever does that very well. He's not going to be good at interrupting, certainly not on a stage like that big stage. And, you're standing on that stage. I don't know if you guys have ever been on a stage, but it's totally different when you're on stage, As a performer, I can tell you, you get up on that stage, the lights are in your face, the audience, you think, oh, you're hearing the audience. You might not hear the audience very well. I've been on stage doing comedy, and you think nobody's laughing, but they're laughing, but you think that nobody's laughing. Or sometimes you hear the laughter, and it sounds bigger than what it actually is. You look at the recording later on, you realize it wasn't that big. You miss all kinds of things around that stage, just all kinds of distracting things happening off stage. You might not be able to hear very well. We saw that in the first debate where Andrew Yang was like, excuse me. The first thing he said was like, excuse me, what was that? Because he couldn't hear what was going on. So we don't know what he's hearing. We don't know what he's seeing. We don't know the distractions. We don't know what happens before, afterwards. We don't know what maybe they can hear the other candidates while they're up on stage, but we can't hear them. There's all kinds of things that's going on that stage. To effectively interrupt someone, it takes a whole lot, and you have to be desperate, I think, in order to do that. Better for you to wait your turn and to punch hard when you get your turn. And when I say punch hard, I don't mean other candidates, but I mean the issue at hand. And I think he did that right off the bat.